Be ready. 15 seconds. Honorable Speaker, I present the interim budget for 2024-25. The Indian economy has witnessed profound positive transformation in the last 10 years. The people of India are looking ahead to the future with hope and optimism. With the blessings of the people, when our government, under the visionary and dynamic leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, assumed office in 2014, the country was facing enormous challenges. With Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas as its mantra, the government overcame those challenges in right earnest. Structural reforms were undertaken. Pro-people programs were formulated and implemented promptly. Conditions were created for more opportunities for employment and entrepreneurship. The economy got a new vigor. The fruits of development started reaching the people at scale. The country got a new sense of purpose and hope. Naturally, the people blessed the government with a bigger mandate. In the second term, our government, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister, doubled down on its responsibilities to build a prosperous country with comprehensive development of all people and all regions. Our government strengthened its mantra to Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and Sabka Viswas. Our development philosophy covered all elements of inclusivity, namely social inclusivity through coverage of all strata of the society and geographical inclusivity through development of all regions of the country. With the whole of nation approach of Sabka Prayas, the country overcame the challenge of a once in a century pandemic, took long strides towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, committed to Panch Pran and laid solid foundations for the Amrit Kal. As a result, our young country has high aspirations, pride in its present, and hope and confidence for a bright future. We expect that our government, based on its stupendous work, will be blessed again by the people with a resounding mandate. Our humane and inclusive approach to development is a marked and deliberate departure from the earlier approach of provisioning up to village level. Development programs in the last 10 years have targeted each and every household and individual through housing for all, Har Ghar Jal, electricity for all, cooking gas for all, bank accounts and financial services for all in record time. The worries about food have been eliminated through free ration for 80 crore people. Minimum support prices for the produce of Annadata are periodically increased appropriately. These and the provision of basic necessities have enhanced real income in the rural areas. Our government is working with an approach to development that is all round, all pervasive, and all inclusive. It covers all castes and people at all levels. We are working to make India a Viksit Bharat by 2047. For achieving that goal, we need to improve people's capability and empower them. Previously, social justice was mostly a political slogan. For our government, social justice is an effective and necessary governance model. The saturation approach of covering all eligible people is the true and comprehensive achievement of social justice. This is secularism in action, reduces corruption and prevents nepotism. There is openness and assurance that benefits are delivered to all eligible people. The resources are distributed fairly. All, regardless of their social standing, get access to opportunities. We are addressing systematic inequalities that had plagued our society. We focus on outcomes and not on outlays so that the socio-economic transformation is achieved. As our Prime Minister firmly believes, we need to focus on four major castes. They are poor, women, youth, and farmer. Their needs, their aspirations, and their welfare are our highest priority. The country progresses when they progress. All four require and receive government support in their quest to better their lives. Their empowerment and well-being will drive the country forward. We believe in empowering the poor. The earlier approach of tackling poverty through entitlements had resulted in very modest outcomes. When the poor become empowered partners in the development process, government's power to assist them also increases manifold. With the pursuit of Sabka Saath in these 10 years, the government has assisted 25 crore people to get freedom from multidimensional poverty. Our government's efforts are now getting synergized with energy and passion of such empowered people. This is truly elevating them from poverty. Direct benefit transfer of rupees 34 lakh crore from the government using PM Jan Dhan accounts has led to saving of rupees 2.7 lakh crore for the government. This has been realized through avoidance of leakages prevalent earlier. The savings have helped in providing more funds for Garib Kalyan. PM Seva Nidhi has provided credit assistance to 78 lakh street vendors. From that total, 2.3 lakh have received credit for the third time now. PM Janman Yojana reaches out to the particularly vulnerable tribal groups who have remained outside the realm of development so far. PM Vishwakarma Yojana provides end-to-end support to artisans and craftspeople engaged in 18 trades. The schemes for empowerment of Divyangs and transgender persons reflect firm resolve of our government to leave no one behind in India. While discussing the finance bill, I would like to make a little reference to the original budget because the finance bill is meant to give effect to the financial proposals contained in the budget for the year 1998-99. It is the general thinking of the people. It is also an accepted theory that the budget of the government reflects the economic policy of the government. It indicates the path in which the ruling party wants to lead the country so far as the economy is concerned, so far as agricultural production is concerned. Now, even this annual budgetary exercise has become somewhat superfluous because many more things come before the budget and after the budget which vitiate the effect of the actual annual budgetary proposals. This year, before the budget was presented to Parliament, the government came out with proposals for hikes in administered prices, and it amounted to more than 3,000 crores of rupees.